After going through the fundamentals of ANS innervation, now we are going to study cholinergic receptors and cholinergic system. First step is the choline uptake. Choline is uptaken and then it combines with acetyl-CoA. Then the enzyme choline acetyl transferase converts it into acetylcholine. Next step is release of choline, which is initiated by calcium influx. Then acetylcholine combines with muscarinic or nicotinic receptor cells. Acetylcholine is also destroyed by acetylcholinesterase enzyme into choline and acetate. Choline can be reuptaken to form the further acetylcholine. Now we will see the effects of various drugs, how they will act. On 4 number, receptor agonist and antagonist. This will directly act on this site and drugs will bind with the either muscarinic or nicotinic receptors. Third is acetylcholinesterase inhibitors. As we can see from the inhibitors, this will stop the destruction of acetylcholine, so the level of acetylcholine will be augmented. While second is botulinum toxin. Botulinum toxin will stop the release of acetylcholine by binding with the synaptobremin. Hemicholine will stop the uptake of choline. Thus, acetylcholine will not be formed. So, it can be said that direct acting drugs will act on nicotinic or muscarinic receptors, while indirect acting drugs will act on acetylcholinesterase inhibitors, botulinum toxin or hemicholine. To summarize, hemicholine inhibits choline uptake, which was the first step. Botulinum toxin prevents acetylcholine release, that was the second step. And acetylcholinesterase inhibitor enhance synaptic acetylcholine by preventing the destruction of acetylcholine by acetylcholinesterases. Blockers of nicotinic and muscarinic receptors block post-junctional receptors of nicotine and muscarine. So the parasympathetic system has 3 main functions: cardiac stimulation, smooth muscle contraction, and secretions. These are the rest and relax situations. Now we will see muscarinic receptor activation and their sites. First we will start from eye. Eye has 2 types of muscles like sphincter and ciliary muscles. Eye contains M3 receptors. So it deals with contraction, that is called miosis, contraction, accommodation for near vision. So when ciliary muscles contracts, it accommodates for near vision. Muscarinic receptors are also found in heart that are M2 type. So in heart, muscarinic agonists act on SA node and atrioventricular node. So they will not act on ventricle muscles. They will decrease the heart rate by negative chronotropy, decrease conduction velocity, negative dromotropy, no effects on ventricles or Purkinje fibers. Lung bronchioles and glands also contain M3 type receptors, which causes contraction or bronchospasm and secretion. So muscarinic agonists are not recommended in coronary obstructive pulmonary disease, that is called COPD or asthma. In GI tract, stomach and intestine, M3 receptors are present except in GI glands, where M1 receptors are present and they play important role in secretion. In stomach, they increase motility and cramps, contractions that will cause diarrhea, involuntary defecation. In bladder, M3 receptors are present that will cause contraction of the trouser, relaxation of sphincter or trigone, voiding, urinary incontinence. While in sphincter, there are also M3 receptors which will cause relaxation except lower esophageal, which contracts. In glands, also M3 receptors are present, which is called secretion, sweating, thermoregulatory, salivation, and lacrimation. In blood vessels and endothelium, also M3 receptors are present, which is called dilation via nitric oxide, endothelium derived relaxation factor, no innervation, no effect of indirect agonist. So muscarinic agonists can be used in Sjogren's syndrome, where there is dry mouth, dry eyes symptoms, while in adrenal medulla, NN nicotinic receptors are present, which cause secretion of epinephrine and norepinephrine, while in autonomic ganglia, neuronal nicotinic receptors are present, which cause stimulation. Net effects depend upon parasympathetic and sympathetic innervation and dominance. Neuromuscular junctions cause stimulation, twitching, hyperactivity of skeletal muscles. This is very comprehensive table which describes the mechanism of action of cholinergic receptors. So M1 and M3 receptors are GQ coupled receptors that will increase the phospholipase C, which in turn increases IP3 diacylglycerol and C8 calcium plus, that will increase the release of acetylcholine as we have previously studied. Only M2 receptors are coupled with GI, that will decrease the adenylyl cyclase, which in turn decreases cyclic adenosine monophosphate, causing bradycardia. NN and NM have no second messenger. They are ligand gated activation of sodium and potassium channels.